Today I have a BMW X5 E70 with Xenon lights with the driver's side working perfectly fine, and if I swing over here to the passenger side's in knock. So hopefully this is just a bulb. I'm going to take a look and see if we can figure this out and get this fixed. When you're working on a headlight problem, one of the best ways to help figure this out is to do swapnosis, which is swapping from one side to the other. So let's start with the Xenon bulb. We know we have a known good working bulb in the left hand or driver's side. We're going to swap that over to the passenger side. We'll also pull the passenger side out, take a look at it, and see if there's any visual defect that we can see with the bulb. To access the bulb, it is a little tight. You have to open the hood and then access this cover right in here. So you do have an area here that you can get your hand in, and you have to unclip this top tab. So I just press down on that top, which slides this back, and I have to lift up this tab, which should have locking locators on the bottom, or just these little plastic nubs. And you want to make sure when you put this back in, you reseat it. These headlights are very expensive because of all the components that they have, and if you have a cover left off or a defective cover, it can be very expensive. I have my borescope set up so you can see this is actually the bulb. So that bottom there, right here, is where the connector is. I just had to slide that off. And then with my left arm leaning over the engine, I was able to get in here like this and actually twist it to unlock it. This style, if it doesn't have those metal retaining clips, is actually a twist to lock. So I'm going to pull this out and we can take a better look. So this is the bulb removed, and this is how it sits in the housing. When you release it, it pops out this way. And then when you go back in, you have to reach into that cavity, slide it in, and maneuver it so that you can lock it back so it's straight down. And then you can connect the connector, which is just this 3-pin connector right here. An important note is you never touch the element with your hands or skin, because oils will transfer to the glass and it can cause premature failure of the bulb. And that's really on any bulb. You always want to handle it by the casing and not the bulb itself. Now this is the bulb from the driver's side. This one also releases this way right here, so when you lock it in, you put it in and lock it this way to lock it in place. Alright, so our swapnosis confirms that the bulb is faulty, so that's great news. Now I have to actually install the good bulb in the driver's side. Now you do kind of have to be contortionist to get this in, right? You slide it in this way and then lock it. I went in backhanded, forward-handed, and just a lot of just trying to move it a little bit at a time. Eventually it was about here, and now it is locked into place nice and straight. You can actually peek behind here. You really can't see with the camera, unfortunately, but you just want to make sure that you do lock it. I have seen one of these bulbs fall out, and they get so hot they'll actually melt your housing, and you'll be replacing your headlight assembly. Now, after that bulb is installed, you have to make sure that you put these 2 tabs into their locator and then lock this back into place. Make sure this gasket is nice and clean, there's no dirt or debris on it. Alright, here's a good shot of that cover, right? And of course when I stick my hand in there I'm going to be blocking it, but I am in the 2 locators on the bottom, and you can give it a wiggle to make sure, and then just press it into place. Make sure it locks. Oh, see, that did not lock. I gotta take a look at that locking tab, make sure that's gonna lock properly. Here's that cover. What I did is I actually had to press on the tab so it would lift up slightly so I could get it to lock, and then press it down. Give it a wiggle back, make sure it's solid and not going to come free. If this falls off, water is going to get right in the headlight. That'd be a very expensive day. Alright, that cover is fully secured. It's crazy how careful you have to be with headlights because they can be very expensive, in like the thousands to replace if something happens. Got a little friend here next to me. I don't want to drive over him with the car. It's starting to be a nicer day. A little woolly bear. Hopefully spring's right around the corner and put him out of the way. Right, I ran out and picked out a D1S HID Xenon bulb for replacement. Remember not to touch any of the bulb surface with your hands to avoid putting any grease on it, which can make it fail prematurely. And this goes in this way in that cavity, right, somewhat off to the left, and then I need to lock it into place like this. There's the install. Actually, I can get into the cavity on the driver's side, so you can see that it is locked in straight up and down, and then just plug in the connector on the bottom. Okay, take your cover and make sure you're lined up, and then make sure that you're locked in. There's that top. Lift it forward. Make sure you're locked in. If you're not locked in, it should pop back off. There it is. Click. Okay. Give it a wiggle and a jiggle. Make sure it is solid so you don't have an expensive mistake. And then let's check operation. There's my new bulb. There's my Swapnosis bulb. And that's how you replace the Xenon bulb on a BMW X5. I hope you found this helpful and you could see everything properly so that you can get this done yourself. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to my Ask the Car Experts YouTube channel. Thanks and have a great day.